What's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing a deck profile on my punks. Now, punks kind of got hit pretty hard on the last list, losing not only the chaotic ruler, but crystal and Halky Fibrax. Thankfully, even with those gone, there's still a lot this deck can do, and it doesn't really hurt the deck too much. Just a few of those things we were able to do, we're not able to do anymore. But you can still put up several negates with this. Like, the deck is still really good. And without further ado, let's get right into the profile. First off, I run 3 no punk Xiamen. Xiamen, you can pay 600 life points to add 1 punk monster from your deck to your hand, except Xiamen. Also run the 3 Foxytune and 3 Ogre Dance. Now, Foxytune, you can discard itself and 1 card to special summon a punk from your deck. And Ogre Dance you can discard it to add 1 punk from your deck to your hand. So the specials and the searches. And both of them have an additional effect to where you can attribute a punk monster control to summon themselves. So like, say you got the one on the field, you can attribute it to summon to special summon Ogre Dance from your hand. Which is definitely pretty cool. Also run me 2 copies of No Punk Deer Note. Deer Note is really good. It really kind of fixes, I'd say, the biggest problem with this deck and what keeps it from being really competitive, especially in the pure form, which this is a pure punk deck profile. Like, I'm not playing Therion or Adventure. You can play that, but I don't really think you need to, in all honesty. This deck can do enough on its own. And the cool thing with Deer Note is if you have another punk in hand, you can special summon this card, or you can special summon this card or the revealed monster and send the other to the graveyard. So, like, let's say you got Xiamen and Deer Note, you can use the effect of Deer Note to special itself to the field and send the Xiamen to the grave, or vice versa. But usually you're going to be summoning this, because when it leaves the field, you special a punk from grave, except Deer Note. Next, I run 2 YUGIOH Punk Shirukasai. You pay 600 life points to fusion summon 1 punk fusion monster using monsters from your hand or field as material. And as an additional effect to quick effect, you can pay 600 life points to synchro summon 1 punk synchro monster using monsters you control. So that's definitely really good, since it's a quick effect. You can essentially use it on your opponent's turn, and one of the punk synchro monsters has a disruption on its special summon, and usually you just use its effect to special summon on your opponent's turn, which will trigger its effect. Also run the 1 Gagaku Punk Wagon. Yeah, I added this into the deck considering now it's actually usable, because we actually got a punk spell that's actually pretty good. For the punk spells we had, like Wild Picking and I think like Heartbeat or something, whatever it was, they were not good. I'll just say it right out. We did not have any good punk spells. Now we actually do, and the field spell Jam Extreme Session. Also run the 1 Madame Spider. Unlike Wagon, this one searches your traps, not your spells. And which is really good, because punks do have some good disruptive traps. Also run 3 Ash Blossom Joy Spring, 3 DD Crow, 3 Nibiru, 3 Droll, a Skullmaster, and a Ghost Spell. Yeah, we do run a fair amount of hand traps, because the one cool thing with punks is it's fairly concise. Like, honestly, sometimes even just a Xiamen by itself can get you into a very good board. Like, let's say I have a Xiamen and Shirukasai. We're going to be able to use this effect maximally to synchro summon the Amazing Dragon during our opponent's turn. Moving on to the spells. I run 3 Punk Jam Extreme Session. Once per turn, you can banish 1 punk card from your graveyard to special summon 1 punk monster from your hand. And if a psychic monster you control paid life points to activate its effects, you draw 1 card. And all the punks pay life points to activate their effects, which I don't really get why they do that. They just do. It's not really much of a restriction, but you know, with the Jam Extreme Session, it turns that negative into a positive, more or less, because we could draw a card off of it. And the cool thing is that effect is up to twice per turn. Also run, I actually ran 2 of these. Also run 3 E-Telly. You know, special summon a level 3 psychic from the deck. Yeah, that's really good, considering most of the punks are level 3 psychics. The only ones that aren't are the Deer Note, the Ogre Dance, and the Foxytune. Moving on to traps, I run 2 Ashiwari Surprise. This, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, or if you control a punk monster, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, destroy it. So it's a little bit of a destruction in your opponent's turn. And I also got a 1 Dangerous Gabu, which is basically kind of like an infinite impermanence. Speaking of impermanence, I run 3 infinite impermanence myself. Moving on to the extra deck, I run 3 Punk Jam Dragon Drive. This is another one of the new cards out of Power the Elements. If this card is special summoned by the effect of a Punk card or Synchro Summoned, pay 600 line points, take 1 level 3 Psychic monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Depending on the state of the duel, it's depending on what you'll go for. Because you can also, the Amazing Dragon has an effect to revive a Punk from the graveyard, so this is another way to set that up. If your opponent activates a card or effect in response to your Punk card or effect activation, while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon it. Also run 2 YUGIOH Punk Amazing Dragon. Whenever Amazing Dragon is a sync or summon guitar cards your opponent controls up to the number of level 3 psychic monsters with different names in your graveyard, or that we control, return them to the hand. So let's say we have in our graveyard these 4. That means we can return up to 4. And we can get them into the graveyard pretty easy, so that's almost always going to be alive. Also run 3 Assure King. This comes up occasionally. Like if you have a couple extra level 3s left over on the field, just go into this and it's an additional negate. Also run the 1 Downer Magician, the 1 Hope Heart Mirror because we do have a bunch of level 8s like the Jam Dragon Drive or the Ogre Dance and Foxy Tune, they're all level 8s. Also run the 1 Divine Arsenal Zeus, 2 YUGIOH Punk Rising Carp. Now Rising Carp is actually pretty good. You can essentially tribute this card, fusion summon card, to special summon up to 2 pure monsters. Not too pure. 2 Punk monsters with different names from your deck, except level 8. So you can literally just use it to summon, let's say, Xiamen and Deer Note. Before, this wasn't really too good because we didn't have Deer Note, but Deer Note is a level 5. So we get a level 5 at level 3, which we can then just immediately go into the Dragon. Yeah, the Dragon Drive. And additionally, if the Synchro Summon card, it's this, if you Synchro Summon using this card as material, you target 1 Punk monster you control, you can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Also run 1 Fred Plant Dragon Stapelia, and 1 Garura for super poly targets, which I would run in the side, as well as the 1 Apollosa Bow of the Goddess. That's it for my Punk deck pro. I mean, what do you think of Punk? Do you think it's pretty cool? Do you think it definitely has potential in this format? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you next time I make. Bye.